Are there any incentives for private producers to locate in areas that they have got great capacity? No, the best incentive is just knowing that there's great capacity. And maybe just to demystify this point, any place in the country South Africa has got the best irradiation level compared to other parts of the world. It's an important point to make. We are better than the whole of Europe, even if you had to go to Mpumalanga. But relative to what is possible in the country, the best location is in the Eastern Cape. So our conditions, mention any place in the country, is better than what Europe can offer. So that's the point. So the incentive is there. I mean, we don't need to give you an additional incentive. All that we need to do is to make sure that we make it possible for these private sector players to locate in those spaces where there's great capacity. I don't think that we need additional incentive. It's fine across the length and breadth of the country. And then, yes, on the issues of philosophy maintenance, yes, I have my views. I mean, part of the problem that we were experiencing now, outside the policy issues, the choices that we've made as a democratic government, thinking that the private sector will come into the space and resolve the issues of generation, and only realize much later, 2006, 2007, to say, look, let's, as the state, build new generation, Medupi and Kusile. That's how it came about. Outside those shortcomings, there are issues of leadership and management. And that's why the introduction of the head of generation, Mr. Bheki Nxumalo, it's important. It's a major, major point of significance in our resolution of this problem. And of course, it has been made possible first by improving, if you like, the performance of the installed units, and then it introduces a gap for you to improve on philosophy maintenance, plant maintenance, and that's what we see. It's a leadership issue, so that we focus on making sure that these units get to perform. I did say that on the issues on the demand side, there's a number of collaborators, because it's on the distribution side. Some of them, municipalities are key players. There's a number of municipalities that we are working on the last time when I was here, I indicated that Nelson Mandela, Buffalo, City of Johannesburg, City Power in particular, the City of Cape Town, Drakensberg municipality, they are doing tremendous work there. So we'll work with them and try to ensure that we create conditions for them to roll out aggressively, but also have new participants in the form of municipalities. I did report in one of the briefings that we're having a conversation with SALGA and see what kind of instruments that can be introduced to incentivize households and people to go that route there. And then, yes, you are right, William, one of the issues that we think requires additional attention is the need for the possibility of mandating, if you like, the installation of solar or smart meters rather going into the future. We are discussing just the other day in one of the committees in government the possibility of making it mandatory as government roll out government-sponsored houses, what we call RDPs. The solar water geyser must be a design requirement. And then we can work with private sector and see if we can introduce a similar dispensation in the private sector. But for that which government is responsible for, we think that it should be a design requirement. On the issues of the grid rules, yes, I did hear some players in the space saying that the requirements are a bit more onerous, and that's why I'll be taking time in the next 2 weeks to sit with some of the players there, Terence, Mr. Kremer, just to hear what the issues are. What is it that we're trying to resolve for? Is that there are projects that have earned access to the grid, the right to the grid, and essentially those projects are not getting to financial close, and it amounts to hogging the grid, essentially locking out other potential projects that are ready ready to connect to the grid, have about to achieve a financial close. The only impediment is access to the grid. So we need to find a solution to address that problem. And that's what ESCOM was attempting to do. And I know that there's a number of permutations on how best we can resolve this problem. You can give a window to say that it must be achieved by this period. If you fail to do that, then you are forfeiting. But we'll sit with those just to understand what the real issues are. On the issues of battery procurement, yes, I did say there's 1,200 megawatts of battery procurement as part of bid window number 7. We'll be doing that by July. So if there are issues around procurement, and I'm not sure procurement in this instance, whether it's with regards to the speed with which government is procuring or the availability of these batteries, I think it's something perhaps I haven't understood correctly. But yes, the point I'm making is that we are making everything possible to address the situation.